Sugar, I will mention real quick in this home stretch, if you are addicted to sugar and you always just want that little piece of, and grain is sugar, by the way, your grain is classified as sugar because your grain turns into sugar, right? And so if you just want that little pancake or that little bowl of cereal or a piece of bread or just a little ice cream, right? Any kind of craving like that is not how the human body does not crave sugar ever.
Hey, this is Matt Helton with One Trust Home Loans, where you're reverse mortgage experts, and you found the Serving Seniors podcast. And this is where we highlight those businesses and those individuals that help seniors not just survive, but thrive in retirement. And today we have another one of those awesome people. We have ZuZu, and she's here with her signature flower in her hair, and she's a holistic healthcare practitioner as well as an author. She has retreats. She's going to share with you how you can holistically help yourself have a better retirement with natural ways to help you thrive in retirement. So ZuZu, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on. I love it. I love it because this is my people, right? These are my people. Graduated in 85. I'm 58, almost 59 in a couple of weeks, and I just love this life. I have incredible energy. I feel fantastic, and I just love being able to spread this with other people that are in my age group. Because a lot of people think you're getting older and you lose libido and you can't function anymore, and you're just gonna get old and die. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like Stop thinking that way. So any of you listening, put that out the door because I have great libido. My body works incredible. I'm not on any medications at all. So like you can do some things today to help your body heal. You don't got to live with high blood pressure. You don't got to live on all those medications. You don't, unless you're missing an organ, then we'll talk. Then you need something. But the rest of it, you can reverse so much disease at home, just like we did when we were little. All of us old seniors, right? We all grew up playing outside and eating out of our garden and wiping our vegetables on our pants and eating it. That was great. We were getting all that bacteria. So yeah, I'm excited to be here.
That is so awesome. Well, thank you for the self-introduction. That was amazing. I appreciate that. That was so cool. And now maybe could you do us a huge favor, because I can tell you have so much energy and so much to share. Could you take us back a little bit, who you are, where you're from, and how did you get to become ZuZu here that we see here today?
Sure. Well, I was 12 years old when I really started investigating more into health, but I didn't do anything until I got to college. And so 40 years ago, I was in college and I had my first green drink. And I was like, wow, that made me feel great. Well, no one's drinking green drinks in 1986, like 1987, we weren't, So anyhow, it was really neat because I got to know a family that was very health driven. I had epilepsy, so I was on 3 medications for my epileptic seizures that I had. And it was just great. So I learned about the body, started really taking an interest in natural health. And I decided when I was like, when I had taken the green drinks and I started living a healthier lifestyle, I'm like, I'm going to do this. So when I'm really old, like 50, I can stand on the stage and be like, hey, this works, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, what was that? I'm 58. I feel fantastic. So yeah, whatever. I'm not old. Anyhow, and then I got, married and then started having children, and I wanted to be off of my medication. So I was able to, using libraries, Matt, back in the days where we told people had to go to libraries, using libraries because we had no internet, I studied all about epilepsy and how the nervous system worked. And I was able to reverse my epilepsy using food. And that just kind of escalated. I just helping anybody who needed help. And then I became a practitioner and opened a couple stores and a couple cafes and a few wellness centers. And now we have an online school of natural medicine that anybody listening can join and learn how their body works. I've had 75-year-olds take our courses because they wanted to reverse cancer in their cities, and they've done it. I've had 16-year-olds take our courses, and they have changed the entire food system at the college they went to. It's just neat when education is received and understood, when you learn how the body works and you understand what causes high blood pressure or kidney issues, and it's so easy to reverse. It's like you want to share it with the world. So it's pretty exciting.
That is awesome. That is so awesome. I know I heard a podcast from a guy. He actually lived in the not the best part of, I believe it was Missouri, and within 3 blocks, every place he could get food was fast food. So that's where he ate 3 times a day. And then he had a serious back condition. And he asked his doctor, he said, I got to ask, I can't really get out of bed at 18 years old. Could it have something to do with what I eat? And the doctor said, nope, just take this medicine.
Yep.
Uh,
I know.
and then so he didn't believe it, took the medicine, and I'm sure, the reason why I mention it is because he's healthy and now he teaches other people like you do. So I'm sure you've had some awesome, awesome examples of people like that were going one way and you were able to intervene. Could you share some examples of that, of people that you've really changed their situation? That
Oh my gosh, there's way too many. I mean, I've helped thousands of people reverse disease. I actually call it dis-ease. I don't use the word disease because it's not disease. There's nothing that's a disease. There is a dis-ease at the cell level. Everything's about how the cell functions. And just picture your cells are all floating in fluid, right? So your cells aren't, they're supposed to be theoretically floating separately from other cells because they have hundreds of thousands of receptor sites on them. And so when they need to absorb something, that liquid is where you get the constituents that need to go into the cell. But a lot of people listening and a lot of people in the country, their cells are stuck together. They're not able to absorb properly. Wow. And so when we start thinking, okay, our cells are in liquid, so we need to drink more healthy water. Like if you're waking up drinking coffee right away, we got things backwards. Please wake up and start drinking water. And then you can have your coffee later, but like get some water into the body. Picture your cells floating in a lazy river. What are they floating in? Energy drinks, because you're just so exhausted because your adrenals are shot, right? Sugary drinks, which are going to totally destroy your cortisol level, and forget libido after that. Like on and on and on. There's all these things that people put in their bodies, but they don't think what's feeding my cell. And so starting your water with, a quart of water, starting your morning with a quart of water, and then drinking what you would like, and then drinking more water, super important. But all of a sudden, the body can regrow itself. That's all of you listening. Everyone listening needs to realize that you have millions of cells that right now are growing and dividing and growing and dividing, and they're creating new life in the body. But the number one thing a cell does is it passes down cell memory. So if you have a sick cell, it will create two sick cells. If you have a healthy cell, it's going to create two healthy cells. Okay. So healthier the environment for the cell, the healthier you end up becoming. So just today, by drinking more water and putting more nutrients in the bloodstream, you are going to create a healthier environment by eliminating sugar. No one on the planet was designed to industry. To like whatever, you still want to drink milk, fine, but it causes so many of the health issues, including osteoporosis. It's the number one cause of osteoporosis is dairy, period. That's going to be on my tombstone, right? Anyhow, and so we aren't taught that because there's no money in healthy people. And a lot of the seniors I meet with, and I meet with them all of the time, right? They are dealing with a lot of medications, a lot of things that are quite easy, quite honest to reverse. So one of the number one things for seniors that I see quite a bit is high blood pressure, right? And the number one cause of high blood pressure is constipation. And the number one cause of constipation is the medicine you're all taking. Like read any insert, right? They all cause constipation and liver failure. All of them, 100% of them, right? And so we do need to be aware that what we put in our body makes a difference. So if a little pill can get rid of a headache, what is that Snickers bar doing to the body? I think a lot of times we're told, oh, food doesn't matter. Food doesn't matter. People who have no idea can, and the body never taught. So thank God we have some changes happening right now, and doctors are going to need up to 40 hours instead of 4 hours of nutritional therapy and training, but that doesn't do much. 40 hours talking about food isn't going to do a lot, but it'll do a lot more than we currently are doing. So I think like watching high blood pressure reverse by simply, unconstipating their body, which is actually, there's about 6 things you can do for constipation. That probably, Matt, that's the number one cause of death in seniors. According to ZuZu, working with all these people and all the studying I've done, is constipation. And there are 6 ways to relieve constipation. Number 1 is drink more water. Most people simply do not drink enough water. Number 2 is much more fiber. Fiber is not found in your meat, so stop eating only meat, right? If you do, then take lots of fiber, but we really need to bring more fiber. Fiber comes from plants. And this is interesting because your body cannot break down fiber at all. Your body can't, but your bacteria can. And the bacteria in your gut that is what makes your neurotransmitters, and that's what can break down fiber, and that's what can regrow your microbiome, which is where all your happy chemicals come from. So a lot of people dealing with depression and constipation are actually very deficient in the microbiome, which is fed by fiber. So just more fiber. So water, fiber, exercise, magnesium, taking probiotics, and then cell phone. Make sure your cell phone isn't the number one thing that we help people relieve, because if you're constipated, wrap your head around this. If you're constipated, you are literally reabsorbing that stool into your bloodstream. So if you are not having 1 or 2 bowel movements a day, you are recirculating the contents from your stool. Some of it goes right back in the bloodstream. And that's dangerous, because now we have this crap that was literally supposed to come out of our body in
Literally
our
crap,
bloodstream.
huh?
Literally crap, right? And you've smelt it. People have really, really bad breath, or people, you can smell fermenting people, like you can smell them, right? And so making sure bowel movements, and there's some great products that can help you, but getting bowel, and don't run to Walgreens and get Mucilex or anything, you guys. You want to get magnesium. You want to get a product called Natural Colon. It's phenomenal. It's 6 organic herbs from the islands of Greece. There's so many wonderful natural things that can help you have bowel movements again, and things you can do at home. But I think high blood pressure is probably like I said, and it just disappears when you can have bowel movements. You're going to watch your blood pressure lower. The stress in your life is going to lower when you start getting rid of some of the sugars. So between bowels, I always tease bowels and sex. I talk about it every day because it doesn't work for most people. So like, they're constipated and they don't have libido and they can't. I have 18-year-old men coming to see me because they have ED. At age 18, what the heck has happened to the circulatory system of a man, right? Well, what's happened is the toxins we keep putting in. And so just anybody listening, I know it's more than I could possibly cover in a 15-minute or 25-minute segment, but ED is always circulation, and we need to fix circulation. Here's this, guys. Cheese causes ED like that. You want to have better erections, get the cheese out of your bloodstream, because that stuff is literally causing you to have poor circulation. So is stress and, sugars and a bunch of other things that, that bind in the body. But it's really kind of funny, because I'm always like, hey guys, stop smoking, get rid of cheese, right? Get off all the energy drinks. And you're going to start,
you mentioned something earlier about, it cut out. I didn't hear you. And you said about cell phone. What did you say about the cell phone?
Yeah, cell phones. Cell phones in the back pocket can cause constipation, and obviously a lot of testicle cancer. A lot of the EMFs from the phone in the cell phone pocket can make men infertile because their testes are literally being radiated the entire time. And women, actually in several countries, when a woman is pregnant, or if they're trying to get pregnant, they actually wear an EMF apron. It's an apron that they wear, and underwear that are made out of EMF protective shielding fabric, because EMFs are so dangerous on a child. In Sweden, they did a study one time that they could detect if a child was going to have ADD, ADHD, any kind of attention issue, by how many hours a day the mother spent on a cell phone or a laptop with her belly being pregnant. So while that child is in the womb, we can be literally causing some of the most major issues in our children, because we are radiating their brains by putting our laptop and our cell phones. Now, nobody listening to this is probably dealing with that because you're all older, but that cell phone in your pocket can definitely be causing ED and a lot of issues when it comes to circulation and constipation.
Okay. Wow. Well, maybe could you do us a favor here as we're rounding the home stretch? If you were a senior, maybe give us some simple baby steps where you'd start first, second, and third to make sure you have more energy and sleep better. What would you do for those?
Okay, top though. Number one, water. Water. You're an electrical being.
Okay.
And water conducts electricity. Soda does not conduct electricity. Coffee does not conduct electricity. Energy drinks will not conduct electricity. Water conducts electricity. You need pure water in the body. And so drinking more water is extremely important. I do stress adding really good salt. So a Himalayan salt, a Celtic salt, a real salt, not table salt, please. I don't care if it's a cute little girl holding an apron, an umbrella. That stuff is crap. It's good for making Play-Doh. Don't put it on your food and don't drink it.
Okay.
But adding some good salt into your water will help the water absorb absorb better. Making sure the kidneys are functioning is huge, especially for seniors. And so kidneys and UTIs, those are a major issues for men and especially for women. And so doing kidney flushes, very important. Kidney herbs are amazing, but keeping the kidneys clean. And then I will say avoiding dairy. There's 3 things I would avoid. And so you can do this by steps, but I do avoid grain and sugar and dairy, period. That's just it. If you want to have more energy and feel better and have a better circulatory system, endocrine system, the entire systems of the body, sugar destroys the nervous system. I mean, I have watched this for decades now. MS, any of the neurological diseases from neuropathy, all of it. I have watched it all reverse, getting off of sugar, controlling the EMF environment, and drinking more water. This is not a hard thing. It might sound hard because sugar is so addictive. It's actually more addictive than cocaine and heroin. That is true. That is researched and true. So sugar, I will mention real quick in this home stretch, if you are addicted to sugar and you always just want that little piece of, and grain is sugar, by the way, your grain is classified as sugar because your grain turns into sugar, right? And so if you just want that little pancake or that little bowl of cereal or a piece of bread or just a little ice cream, right? Any kind of craving like that is not how the human body does not crave sugar ever. Parasites crave sugar. Cancer craves sugar because a cancer cell has up to 20 times more receptor sites for sugar than a healthy cell. So if you're craving sugar and you most likely have candida parasites and cancer, that's just how it works. Everyone has cancer, by the way. Everyone has cancer. Get over it. Every baby born has cancer. Why is it growing in some people and not in others? Sugar is the main culprit. Because sugar is the food for cancer, and then pulsing technology such as EMFs. So there's a lot on cancer. You guys can, I've got a nice $49 cancer, video series you can watch and learn all about cancer because I'm happy to teach you anything I know about cancer. But anyhow, and so drinking more water, eliminating the sugar and the grain and dairy, whatever. If you start a little bit here and there, and sometimes it's easier, Matt, for people to bring in more vegetables. And then you're full, so you won't be eating all of it. But just realize that the meat and dairy industry, actually all industries, none of them make money if you're healthy and not buying their products, including the pharmaceutical industry. There's no money in healthy people. Every medical doctor knows that. So any medical doctor who would say that food doesn't matter, you never go back to them because they obviously do not know how the body works. Like they absolutely do not understand how a cell functions. Food is everything to the body. And I guess as inspiration, I am 58. I'll be 59 in a couple of weeks. I have perfect blood work. I have lots of energy, and I am with my husband a lot, and it's easy, and there's nothing needed to go along with that. Like I'm not on any hormones or any medications at all. Haven't seen a doctor in 23 years because the body is just a machine. And when we understand how that machine works, we can reverse and avoid disease. And, for your customers, I'm happy, Matt. I could do a code and they could get one of our programs. I'll pick something that they could listen to for free. So afterwards, please reach out to me and I'll create a code and we'll get that to you. But then anybody listening who wants to learn more about how their body works, I'll happily grant that to them because they're in my age group and these are my people. And there's none of us. You have grandkids, you have great grandkids. We have all this life ahead of you. The last thing you want to be doing is chasing your doctor down for more visits and running off to a pharmaceutical, place to get more medicine. And there's so much of it. One guy, one of the gentlemen I worked with, he got off of 8 medications in 8 months. And he feels incredible. Lost so much weight. He's like another human being because I think a lot of people don't realize a lot of medications can mess with your emotions and your liver is the emotional factory of the body. And when the liver is dealing with the different, additives and medications, it takes away from you healing and being the true you. So I guess the number one thing is mindset. Where focus goes, energy flows. So where are you putting your focus today?
That's awesome.
What line are you going to feed? That's what I would end it with.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And I think you got 2 options, right? There's the ZuZu plan. And then I saw one the other day where it said, there was a commercial on TV. It said, if your antidepressants are making you more depressed, then you can throw this pill on top of the pills you're already taking, and we'll try to help. It was like if you're,
wow.
it was the upper if your antidepressants are making you lower. It's like, well, let's just throw another pill in there. And so we're not doctors, and we're not telling you not to listen to your doctor. But what she's telling you to do is,
Nope.
hey, you can totally do what your doctor says, but maybe you should drink more water. Maybe you should be more
That's right.
active, and maybe you
Reduce
should lay
your
off some
sugar.
foods. And then
That's right.
and then you see it's improving, then maybe you could get off some pills or different things. So no, under no circumstances are we telling you not to do what your doctor says, but most of us probably are drinking too much coffee, too much sugar, too much dairy, dehydrated, not sleeping enough. And so it's very simple, not easy, but your advice is very simple and very well needed in this day and age.
And it's easy to do right now, so much easier than ever, because so many people are aware of this. You wouldn't believe how many people don't want to go back to a doctor, especially after everything we went through with COVID. They're questioning everything, which is great. Question everything. You can still go to your doctor, but question them some more. You question them about some things. And if you aren't getting the answer you need, don't go to them anymore. Get another doctor. There's so many. I have in our school, probably a third of our students are medical doctors and nurses right now, because they want to know this information, because it's not taught at all the big schools. I mean, my daughter graduated from Johns Hopkins, and she's like, Mom, none of this is taught. What we do is not taught. And she's actually trying to work with Johns Hopkins to bring what we teach into their programs, because they're not getting a full picture. So yes, you guys can do this. Just start today. Start today with your mind. Drink more water and see where the world takes you, because you can live better than you are. I can guarantee that you can live better than you are.
So now if people want to go deeper with you, follow you, connect with you, how's the best way to connect with you?
Well, being 58 and not having a lot with social media, I actually do have social media now. And so we're growing that on Instagram, ZuZu Unleashed, and on Facebook. Facebook is mostly just links right now. I don't do a lot on Facebook, but I will be putting a lot on Instagram. I'm starting that right now. But we do have huge mailing lists and holistic health educators. If they go to ZuZuUnleashed.com, I've got some free programs on there and some free download books they can take, and then things that they can sign up for, like our women's health, for $49, sleep better for the standing cancer. And yes, you can reverse it at home. I have had 4 people have cancer 24 years. That's a lot, right? And I didn't do the work. I just educated. I just taught. They all did the work. But I'm just telling you, if you are hearing that you can't reverse dis-ease, you're hearing it from people who cannot reverse dis-ease. And so if you are in fear of anything, it's because you don't understand it. So just take some time and learn more about maybe the other side of the spectrum you simply haven't been exposed to, because it's an incredible journey. And you're right, we're not medical doctors, but we're living a life that a lot of people have turned to, and they're living a lot better, must I say, than a lot of medical doctors.
That is awesome.
That's why we have them in our program. They're looking too. They want to know what was taken out of medicine in 1910 with the Flexion Report, and they're all learning, and they're putting it back in, which is great.
That is awesome. That is so awesome. And one other thing I love that you guys are doing is the 2 big stressors for seniors, right, are health. That's where you come in, and then finances, and that's where we come in. So, if they can get their health straight, even similar to what we do, it sounds like most people are probably behind on their health, meaning that they, maybe did it the wrong way, but you're showing them how, hey, we can catch up, you can get back in the game and feel better. And same way with us, a lot of folks, we're going to max out their 401k this month, next year, the next decade. And then they looked up and they're at retirement and they didn't save as much as they should have saved. But you know what they did? Well, they probably bought a house, because most people like to live indoors. They probably made all the payments, because you can't stay there if you don't make the payments, right? So, and over time, the home's gone up in value. So that's where we come in, is we can show them, hey, may not have gone exactly as planned, just like your health may not, but you can fix that. And finances may not have gone perfect, but we show them how they can effectively, efficiently, ethically use a small percentage of their home equity to improve their retirement, afford options like you, go on vacation, pay their taxes, pay their insurance, spoil the grandkids, so they can use some of their equity, but they still own their house. They can still sell their house. They can still pass their home on to kids. So everything everyone knows about mortgages, but they're not forced to make a big monthly payment. So it's basically a flexible mortgage. It's the new and improved consumer protected version of a reverse mortgage.
I love it. I love what you're doing. And you should actually have this on all of your letterhead. A healthy man has many wishes. A sick man has one.
Wow.
So that equity that's coming out of your home can turn you into a healthy person for just a few $1,000s, right? There's so much you could do to be healthier, to actually be able to live the life you've always wanted and use the money that you wish to want. My mother is 80 years old. And she retired once. She was retired for 2 weeks. She went back to work. She is still working at a senior center because she loves working with people.
That's awesome.
There's so much that can be had when you're healthy. But when you get sick and you keep getting sicker and sicker and sicker, the only thing you want is to be healthy.
Right.
So use Matt, get involved, because this is amazing. And if you can grab that 10,000, 20,000, 5,000, whatever you're going to need to buy a sauna and get yourself healthy again, right? Come meet with us, come to a retreat, whatever you need, and then live your life getting better. You don't have to live your life getting sicker. That is not true. And everyone who told you that is wrong, because we get to see people live their life and turn their lives around from age 16 to 82. So I have to end with that, because you have been told wrong, and there is life in front of you. There is so much life in front of you.
That is awesome. Well, thank you for being who you are. Thank you for your signature flower, and thank you for serving seniors.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, everyone.
Appreciate
We
it.
love your guts over in Hawkinsville, Georgia.
Oh, thanks a lot. And thank you for watching the Serving Seniors podcast, where I highlight these awesome people like ZuZu that help seniors not just survive, but thrive in retirement. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next episode. Hey, this is Matt Helton with OneTrust Home Loans, home of retirement mortgage solutions. And we really do appreciate you checking out the Serving Seniors podcast today. Now, please go to the description down in the body of the podcast where you can subscribe to get future shows. Please click that notification button so you get notified when other shows drop. And also, if you can go to servingseniourspodcast.com, and we'd love to hear a comment about our show. We have a heart to serve seniors, and we have a heart to make sure seniors don't just survive retirement, don't just get by in retirement. We want to show seniors how to thrive in retirement. So if you know of anyone that's 55 and older that could use some extra cash flow, maybe the retirement's not going the way that they like, our retirement mortgage solutions are designed for folks, and depending on the state, they're either 55 or 62 and older, to make sure that they have that kind of retirement that they want. As long as they own a home and they're in a good equity position, there could be some solutions that they may not have thought about, or maybe they've thought of and they just didn't know how they work. That's what we do. So anyone in that age group that could use some mortgage advice, my team and I would love to be able to help them. Thanks again, and look forward to seeing you on the next show. Have a great day.